doing the webcam again, even though I had to go through the process of bending this stand mercilessly, as well as um had to bend the stand mercilessly, as well as like another thing that I don't remember what I had to do. But here we are, and I decided to put the loop more over. Um, so like part of the book is on the wall, propped up, but maybe I could have like hit it even more. We're using Papermate PhD. You can't see it really. That's what we're using. You know, this does feel like a doctorate of a pen. Like, oh my god, if I was a pen and I wanted to be a doctor, this is what it would feel like, right? Like it would feel like this. Like you'd be a doctor, the doctor of all pens. But this is the general warm up. I've seen many episodes of The Outer Limits. Like I've seen so many, and what I need to do is start making a log of them. So what I'm gonna end up doing is probably going back and rewatching them, and then writing down the most important things. Unfortunately, because we've forgotten a lot of the episodes that we've seen. Hold on, I have to turn complete to the desk. Sorry, facing the opposite direction. And you know, there are more new episodes that are like kind of like fresh in my mind, and I don't really want to get to those. So I'm gonna talk about the one that I remember about the boy and the father or whatever. Um, there's a thing in the Outer Limits where they're really obsessed with self-destruction, and they like have like a bunch of like things in that universe that could like kind of self-destruct you, and it's very strange, like very like weird, very weird kind of like thought process, really weird kind of like um memento, and it's like kind of funny because like you don't really like expect that to be like something that they're like completely interested in, but they are like they're like highly obsessed with like um one's own self-destruction or annihilation, and they use it in almost every episode, like of the second season, I think, and like towards the end of the first season is like, oh, this guy has a power that will make you, you know, destroy yourself, and it's really interesting how that happens because it seems to be like a prominent thing that they do. You know, it is a unreasonable idea that they project onto the uh the people in their little stories. You know, like they're like, oh, you know, you can't expose my plan. You're going to destroy yourself or whatever. And it's like, all right, like that's, you know, I guess fine to some degree, but not really. It's not really fine. It's, you know, a little bit too much to always have that as like a stopgap from having people learn the truth, or um to stop the story from progressing in that way. But there's this guy from like another planet, I think Venus, and he was trying to train somebody's like child to learn um how to use a certain like atmospheric device so that they become sympathetic to these aliens, and the aliens would end up coming to Earth and taking over the Earth. And the boy's father started getting jealous of the guy spending so much time with his son, so he started investigating the guy. And as he's investigating this individual, he's finding out that he's not from the government. Government doesn't send anybody over to train special children, and he's livid. Now he's like, yo, why don't you guys do something? You guys know what he's up to. He's not from this planet. You guys, have resources to deal with stuff like this. I need help. I'm in over my head here. They didn't offer no help. Um, the guy starts to find out about the dude even more. He sees him like teleport out of the room, teleport in the room. They're like the whirling from that machine, the atmospheric whatever device is like making noise in the house. The wife can't sleep. Nobody can sleep whenever they're using it. But he's in the house when he's not supposed to be in the house because he's obviously like, for all intents and purposes a super mega alien with super mega powers. And it's very funny because it creates this like thing where the son is like, no dad, leave me alone, you're gonna mess up everything, you're gonna foul everything up. And it's like, oh my god, Johnny, he's trying to save your life and you just don't care, huh? Like, he's trying to get you away from this evil old alien guy and you don't care. What you want is to just be like, alien goop. But I get it, you think that you know better. And you know he's at odds with his father. Him and his father not seeing eye to eye, talking about he's gonna mess everything up. And the guy was ready. He was ready to finally get him to hit the switch to change the atmosphere. And he finally did it. He gave him the device. He wound him up and told him what to do. I think this pin is dead, bro. The amount of pins that I have that are just dead or dying is quite a accomplishment, I will say. Alright, we got a bank pin here. Hopefully this one works. The PhD pen is gone, but we got a new pen, e-bank or whatever. So he's ready to use the device. He hits the device, and the device is used to hurt the alien guy who was trying to take over the planet. And he was like, see, he said, see that? I had to wait to figure out what combination I can make the atmosphere so that him and none of his buddies could come here. And the dude was crying. He was like, please, just let me go. You win. Blah, 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 blah. And I think he let him go. Like, I think he, like, stopped killing him and let him go back to his planet. And then he was like, oh, see, Billy? He was like, yeah, now we got to turn over this device to the government. And I'm just, like, thinking to myself, you guys got an atmospheric ray. And you gonna give that device to the government for what? Like, obviously, yeah, you shouldn't have it, but just destroy it, bro. Destroy it, break it. Why give it to anybody? Just break the piece of crap, dismantle it, unscrew it, do something. Like, they're gonna give it to the government, like, yeah, Dad, we're gonna give it to, I'm tired. And they was like, yeah, I'm tired. It's like that whole thing got wrapped up, and yeah, it was like a nice little thing, like, obviously it was like. It was kind of like Pinocchio in a way. Like, obviously, he's not listening to his parents, but at the end of the day, it showed like the child has an allegiance, or like, if you give a child a good home, why would they want to destroy it? You know what I mean? Like, why would they want to destroy? But to be honest, that lesson is kind of like, unless that's not the lesson, I don't know. That's the lesson in my brief remembrance of it. But if that's like the lesson, I don't think that lesson is meaningful because. And it means like this guy was like taking an interest in them, and the way that the interest was being taken and the way that he was like teaching them and stuff like that, it was like he didn't know what he was doing. So there's no real meaning. There's no real meaning in what was happening because he didn't know what he was doing. Like, he didn't do all of that stuff because he was like, oh, I am I hate my home life and I want to be living somewhere else. He did that stuff because it was asked of him, and he thought that it was like some sort of like academic thing. Like, he thought he was being educated by a superior. Like, he thought the superior was educating him, and it's a different like context. It's a different context, in my opinion, of what you should do, what you're able to do, and what you're not able to do. And I think that it wasn't fair. It's not a fair lesson because of that. but also like there doesn't always have to be a lesson. I just try to like extrapolate one. But there are so many episodes that I've seen, and the last one that I saw at the time of me recording this was The Inheritors Part 1 and Part 2. Um, there's a lot of diversity in this episode. I personally don't really like the episode though, because I was trying to figure it out, and at the end of the first part I kind of felt like I understood it. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna talk about that in future, because we still have to get there. We're not even there yet, but just a heads up. And also I might be going back and rewatching a bunch of them to make notes, which I will, I guess, report on during these warm-up rambling sessions. Um, hopefully we're able to you know get more done and more involved in this. And you know I'm too high on the page. Like the height, I have to remember that. I wish that I didn't get the short one, and I'm kind of glad I didn't get the short one. But I'm wondering, was the long one actually the play? Because maybe the short one would have been more like precise or more down. I feel like I had it like a good way before, and now it's really hard to get because there's only so much space that I have. But what if I also like sound? I feel like if I add some light, a little bit of light, right? A little bit of light makes it look much better. I feel like a lot of the problems is there's no light, but maybe we could turn on the flashlight on this, like aliens, right? We're experimenting. It's the first video with unbridled music. I'm not gonna label what each song is, honestly. I hate to do it to you that way, but it would just take too long. But that is the end of these warm-up session. So if you made it this far in the video, hopefully you like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.